One of the issues with my front driver's side door is that the old weather stripping is dry rotted. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get a kit and replace this before I hit the road. But therefore, ever since I've had the van, whenever it rains, water just pours, just sheets down to the interior of the door, and it collects. Thankfully it's dry right now, but I'm going to have to drill some holes in the bottom of the door, prime and paint it down there to prevent rust. You'll see, of course, there's already plenty of rust here anyway from moisture. Anyway, got to do that. Probably spray on some more either deadener or at least some waterproofing layer inside the door. Then I'll put some Thinsulate in there and a thermal barrier, and then I get my panels back in place so I can use the old electric windows. So this one, and then the passenger side as well. Then we're back to the walls inside the living space. I think I mentioned before that I was going to have to replace all the rubber door weather strip seals. I mean, not only are they cracked, but they're literally dry rotting. You can just kind of crunch them in some places. This is the front driver's door, which when I ordered the parts, I'll just say, when you order parts from Rock Auto, they often come totally unidentified. But anyway, you can see how bad this is. Excuse me. It's just falling apart, just crumbling. That's the way all the rubber door seals are throughout the entire van. So I ordered the front doors. This is the passengers. These are the ones I've already removed, obviously. Got the new ones hanging up there, ready to go. I've got the door seals for the side doors and for these two rear doors. So I gotta get these on. Then I'm gonna go back to finishing the insulation, double layers. I've got to figure out if I'm going to line the metal with some quilt fabric or some waterproof fabric, or just slap the plastic back on there. I don't want to use the plastic because of the off-gassing and heat. But anyway, and then of course these foam boards, these cutouts are for the window panels. I'm going to block these windows. All the windows are going to have their own panels for, of course, nighttime privacy, but also for keeping out sun and the extreme heat. This side will be totally blocked by the control center board anyway, except for that front part of the long window. That's what the foam boards are for. They're going to have a foil, double foil e-thermal insulation on the outside surface, or the glass side facing out. So before I put on the new weather stripping, of course, I'm going to be cleaning. I'm going to try to, I can't get all the old glue off, so I'm going to at least wipe it down some alcohol or Windex anyway, just clean it up the best I can. I'm just going to have to use some silicone on some of these parts to help make sure I seal it properly. But otherwise, you just push it in these plastic tabs. You got to make sure, of course, you match up, which I already did. I matched up the proper placement. You got to figure it out on your own, what goes where. So I did it with the old ones. Marked those so I could mark the new ones and know what goes. This is my starting point up here. But anyway, so we'll get these pushed in, sealed, and move on. But in any case, we're working on that. But to show you what I discovered on this one, this weather stripping, you know, I got the weather stripping off. This is the old stuff. I've got it off. Yay, it's off. The problem is, excuse me, get on the ladder. Problem, of course, you guys, it takes a lot to strip off, you know, get all this old glue off it too. I mean, they really overdid that. Anyway, the weather stripping, the end of it has a tab, and guess what? The tab is attached with this one screw way down inside here. And the only way you can get to it is to take off this entire plastic panel off of the door. You say, well, fine, no problem. Well, the only way I've got all the screws off of this panel, all the way around. The problem is, it's also attached by this metal bracket, which holds in the top of this panel. So you got to take off this panel, and then you'd have to remove that little plastic piece too, to be able to also remove this metal piece, which is holding the bottom of this plastic piece in place. You'll notice that in my previous quick camping use of this whole van, it was in warmer months, and I desperately put some Velcro around here to have some mosquito netting in place. This is old, it's coming off. But anyway, again, the effort to reassemble all this, because I've already insulated this door. It's insulated, the panel's on, and that was a bit much to put it on there. I'm not going to take all this apart just so I can get to this one screw way up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, make some room to get in there with the screwdriver, and then use a nice glue that works with plastic and put it back in place. Because some engineers thought it'd be really cute and funny to put the screw tab for the weather stripping down there beneath the plastic frame. I personally don't think it's all that funny, but we'll see. And just so you see, again, like I said, all the screws, top and sides, are out, as well as there's one screw down here that goes up. That's out as well. So like I said, the only thing holding this plastic frame in place is the screws that hold this little metal strip in, which holds the top of the panel, et cetera, like I said. But this is some really thick, stiff stuff. So like I said, you can, you can move it that much. But on this end, you can only move it this much, which is not enough to get to that screw. La 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 da 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 bum 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 ba dum bum dun da dum. La 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 bum. Amazing how easy it is when you have direct access to a little tiny little screw. So yeah, I've been a little slack in making videos. I was wanting to document this whole process of converting the van. It's been intense, and it's been so intense I've just not thought much about really videoing everything. So again, I did not video putting insulation inside the doors. That was a very intensive, painful process to get my arm in those small spaces. But anyway, the doors are insulated, but I'm still I got to finish taking weather stripping off. I finished the weather stripping from the side doors. Now at the back of the van, I got to get this old weather stripping off, and then again, I'll be putting the new weather stripping back on to the side doors and the back doors. So just to show you the progression of tools I've used to remove the weather stripping, which is held on by those plastic push pins, is what I call them. Very stubborn, very secure, which is good. But also there's glue. The manufacturers use glue, of course, to secure it. In any case, started off with this tool, which I acquired for removing the side panels, the interior work inside the van. This particular part right here has done well in getting up under the weather stripping rubber and getting into those push pins and prying them up. When they're stubborn and this doesn't work, of course, I went to the needle nose pliers to pull up what I could grab. But then removing glue and stuff, I've turned to this. I got this tool. I've always used this really to open up paint cans, quite frankly. This is for opening paint cans, I guess, to pry them open. But it's a multi-tool, and I've been using this to get up under the weather stripping and pull up the push pins in one movement. So this is now my favorite go-to tool for removing the weather stripping, pulling up the pins. And again, if it's stubborn, I can use this tool to get to the push pin, put this underneath this for leverage, and then, that works. So, excuse the sound effects. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm going to get started on the back doors now. So unfortunately, that's the way it's been for every single door so far. I mean, of course, I've only put new weather stripping on the two front doors, which took hours. And then this door, now I gotta do the next side door. But anyway, I just gave up trying to make the pins stick, because that's the problem with these weather strips. I think the manufacturer's Fairchild, supposed to be OEM, got it through Rock Auto. But the plastic clips in these weather strips do not clip. They don't fit the holes or something. I don't know what the problem is. But so I just got tired of it, because no matter how hard I pushed, it wouldn't clip. So since it's glued, I'm just taping it. Hopefully the glue will hold it in place. So back to this new weather stripping from, I think, I'm going to go back and check. I think it was pretty sure Fairchild. But from rockauto.com. And it's supposed to be, guaranteed fit, OEM specs, whatever. And again, like I said before, the plastic clips, most of them don't clip. But the problem now is this door will not shut. And I put the weather strip on properly. You can't put it on backwards. I mean, I marked it, the old stuff, before I took it off anyway, top left, top right. But there's three corners. There's three corners in this weather stripping on this particular door. 1, 2, 3, and then the internal curve at the bottom. So there's only one way to put the weather stripping on. But still, the point is, this part right here apparently is too fat. It's too thick. The door won't shut. And I have to help this from the outside. I have to pull this out so it'll, lay flush here. And then this one, I had to trim off some rubber on the inside, and it still was not enough trimming. I guess I have to go do a lot more trimming, I guess. But see, look. Well, first of all, this is where the door stops. That's where the weather stripping stops the door, right there. And it's over here, down here, in this part of the weather stripping, it's stopping the door from shutting. Now, if I force it, again, this top part here, I can force it, but it's catching up there even when I force it. And then if I do force it, I got to push this in up here to make it go into the door. All right. And then I can force the door shut if I want to. And look how out of line the door is. Yeah, that's not good. So I hate to put on the rest of this weather stripping if it's going to keep my doors from shutting. But I've already taken off all the old weather stripping. So here we go. So far I'm giving this set a 0, no stars. For at least for a 1993 GMC G3500 Rally STX van. This weather stripping kit does not work. I mean, the front doors are tight too, but I was able to force them shut. But still, they're probably a good 1/16 inch out of line from where they were originally. The rubber's too stiff and it's too fat. So I'd say 0 stars for this one, for a GMC van anyway.